There are a lot of different things that fall under the Community Relations Manager position for the City of Apache Junction. Because we're a city of our size, there are a lot of opportunities that we want to offer, but we don't necessarily have the justification to have a specific position for that role. So in some other larger cities, you would see somebody or several people who serve as the public information officer, and you see somebody specifically for emergency communication management, somebody specifically for neighborhood partnerships, and then generally a class like this would roll into the neighborhood partnerships. So those are really the forming functions of this position. Being a public information officer or a PIO is really interfacing with the community. So you're responsible for the messaging that comes out from the government agency, and it's really responsible for the public, for the media, for other agencies, for other government agencies. So it's really critical in a public information officer that, one, you're comfortable speaking to people, and then also you are able to communicate effectively central messaging. And that's especially important when you're dealing with emergency management. So for the public, I do the neighborhood partnership meetings. I do a lot of public speaking events. For the media, I write the press releases for most of our departments within the city. Some departments write their own. For instance, the police department writes their own, so I write them over there. Parks and Recreation writes their own press releases. So certain departments choose to write their own. Other departments request that I write them, or this position writes them on their behalf, and they provide the general information, and then we get those out to the media. So we do still strongly support our print media. We have 2 local papers, as you heard 2 weeks ago. We have the Apache Junction News, and we also have the Apache Junction Independent. They're weekly papers, so we do subscribe to that on a weekly basis. We do also try to support our larger newspapers throughout the state. So we do send all of our press releases to the East Valley Tribune, to the Arizona Republic. Now, whether or not they choose to pick them up, that's their choice. Unfortunately, they usually pick up the negative ones and don't run our positive human interest ones as frequently, which is why it's really important to have good positive relationships with your local papers, because not only are they going to run the headline news, but they're also going to pick up your human interest stories and share that with the community, which can be just as important, arguably more important, for your community to know about the positive things going on and the positive interactions. It's really important that you maintain those positive relationships with your local media. We also do submit to some of the online different print medias, and I'm drawing a blank on some offhand. But Santan today, they pick up a lot of our stories because we're one of the closest metropolitan areas to them, so we offer a lot of services that they may not otherwise get. With other agencies, if something's going on, whether it be a news story or just general information, it's really important that you have those liaisons. And again, a lot of the bigger cities have one, if not many, PIOs that you would interface with in this position. And then also attending community events. Emergency management is one of the most critical parts of this position. Fortunately, it's one of the areas that you don't utilize as much, but you still have to be trained in it and be ready to go if you were to utilize it. So my training is in NIMS, which is the National Incident Management Systems, and that one's actually phasing out, unfortunately, since I just did a lot of the training in it, and they're really following more of the incident command systems. So I will be learning a lot more about that. I do have various levels of certifications in NIMS and none in ICS, so I will be learning about that. But most importantly for this position, if there's a major storm, whether it's a storm or a hostage situation, something where you have to activate your critical response team, the public information officer or the emergency communication manager is responsible, again, for interfacing with the media. So providing that information to the public, to the different media sources, interfacing with other government agencies. So there's a joint information system, and this position would be responsible for getting those procedures set up, getting everybody together, finding those messaging, and making sure that you're putting out a consistent message, because there's nothing worse in an emergency crisis situation than having conflicting messages. And you want to make sure that you're the one providing the messaging, because you're going to waste time in an emergency situation if you have to refute things that aren't true or work on addressing rumors. So if you put out the information initially, you're controlling what's out there and not wasting your time trying to correct an inaccurate message. The GIC, or the JIC, is the Joint Information Center. So if there was some major event, again, it can vary, a natural disaster, a human disaster, there are all sorts of different things that could trigger this type of system to take place. You're going to have your Emergency Operations Center, which is generally near your police department or near your fire department. That's where all the command structure is going to be. And then you want your Joint Information Center to be near there. That way you have the information available, but not close enough so the media are trying to sneak their way in, or people who are staging in that area are hearing or seeing what's going on. So positioning is critical. So here in Apache Junction, the Emergency Operations Center is actually over at our police department. And my understanding is they would use this room actually right here for the JIC, the Joint Information Center, partially because of its location, also because of its size. It does have a lot of media capability. As you can see, there's PowerPoint, we have TVs, we have things here that we may not be able to access in other locations. I know that we had a major event, unfortunately, over the summer, and we had to have our JIC closer to the incident, so it was staged as we were able to over at the Elks Lodge. So sometimes your JIC is not the most convenient place, but if we were operating where we're using the EOC of the police department, this would be our JIC. And again, it's something that you don't use very frequently, but you want to make sure that you are up on what's going on, that you have an understanding, because it's never a good idea to learn how to plan for an emergency in an emergency. So it's really important that you go through the training, that you know the structure, that you know the system. That way it's second nature when the emergency hits, because again, that's not when you want to try to figure out what to do or what's going on. Third area is the neighborhood relations. This position serves as the initial point of contact for citizens. So generally, if you look on our website, a lot of times the direct number to the community relations manager will be there. Even though they likely can't answer all of your questions, they can do the internal research to funnel you to the appropriate department or the appropriate person. The goal a lot of times is to identify the concerns, and again, while you may not have the solutions, to either brainstorm or send them in the right direction. You don't want to say, I have no idea, good luck, go find it. Public relations, obviously, you want to take on the burden of trying to figure out what is the appropriate place to send this person, and do the research on that end, because it makes it more user-friendly for the citizen. You're not wasting their time, and you may have a better understanding of navigating the system. So really important to be that initial point of contact. The City of Apache Junction does participate in the Neighborhood Partnership Program, and that's somewhat unique to Apache Junction. I think that's a little bit because of our size and really the value that the City Council puts on getting to know their neighborhoods. So what a neighborhood partnership meeting, has anyone had one at their community? I know you have, Gary. Neighborhood partnership meeting, anyone else? Have you had a neighborhood partnership meeting at your community? Okay, if you live in actually any type of neighborhood, we've gone out to HOAs, we've gone out to mobile home communities, we've gone out to just neighborhoods who have decided that they'd like to have us come out. And it's arranged by the person in this position. They arrange council members, various department directors. It's almost like a mini Citizen Leadership Institute in an hour. So very compact, but you cover a lot of information. So we go out and we meet with the citizens. Generally, we have a few council members say a few words. Different department directors will have 2 to 3 minutes to talk about what's going on with their department. And then we open it up to the citizens. And the goal is really to find out what's working, to find out what is not working, to get to know our neighbors, to find out, is there certain issues that you have that either you haven't been able to communicate to us, or you didn't know how to communicate to us. And really just get out into our neighborhoods to find out what's going on with our citizens. And our mayor and council love doing it. The mayor always starts out telling everybody how it's one of his favorite things that he gets to do as the mayor. But it's really, we learn a lot about our neighborhoods. I usually go representing the police department. Now I go to run the meetings and represent the police department. But you really find out what your neighborhoods are perceiving from your department. And it's a great opportunity to hear directly from the citizens. First of all, things that are going well, which you love to have said in front of your mayor and council, and then some areas that you can work on. And again, it's really important because we do take all that information. If we can't answer it right there on hand, then it's the responsibility of the person in this position to do the follow-up, identify how you can address that problem, and then you write, or this individual, myself right now, writes a response letter summarizing what happened in that meeting for anyone who was not able to attend, and then addressing any of the unanswered questions. As you know, this is the Citizen Leadership Institute, so I won't spend too much time on this one. As we said in the first session, it started in 1998. At this point, there are 284 graduates. And again, it's more of a long version of our neighborhood partnership meeting because you get a brief introduction from the mayor, you get to hear from the different department directors, and obviously CLI goes into a little more depth about the historical context of the city, and then also not just our city departments, a little bit more about our county, our state, so you get to get a bigger picture with the Citizen Leadership Institute and hopefully get you interested in either volunteering with the city or serving on a commission or board. So we are very successful that quite a few of our graduates have served or are currently serving on either a council or a commission or a board. Some other things that this position does recently, hi there. Okay. Recently, this position also inherited the events process, and I don't know exactly when that happened. I believe it was back in March or May. So now this position, anytime an entity in the city wants to have a special event within the city, I receive all the applications for that, process them, get the different department directors' approvals. If there are any issues, I do the research on any issues for the events. Unfortunately, there are quite a few rules and regulations that I don't know, so I am learning a lot about our city code. I'm learning a lot about city ordinances that I have never known before. Zoning, learning all about that. So it's been a learning experience for me, but again, the goal is to take that burden off the citizen or the business who's trying to plan an event and have that one point of contact with the city. And that's really why they put it on this position, to make it easier for the person who's coordinating the event. So instead of that individual having to call zoning, having to call the city clerk's office to do all that research, now that's my responsibility to do all that and then get back with them to let them know what they would need to do to make their event successful, or if unfortunately they'd have to move it to a different location due to zoning, ordinances, things of that nature. So that's a new area that I have delved into, and it's very interesting, but again, learning a lot, and it's beneficial because I do process events, and for the police departments I put events on, so I think that it gives a good perspective for myself as someone who's put on events than to realize all that goes into it. So that's another great thing. The media producer is under this position. A big thing that we are trying to push currently is social media. So the city recently initiated a social media team, I believe about 2 years ago. So the city has a Facebook page and a Twitter account. So if you are on either of those, please follow us and like us. A lot of our departments also have their own. So the police department, Parks and Recreation, the library, and Paws and Claws Care Center all have a Facebook page. And then some of the other departments have Twitter. The library, which you'll hear from later this evening, has pretty much every social media account you could ever think of and then some. So they're very active on social media. But we, again, are trying to provide a dialogue with our citizens. We have a website. Downside to a website is it doesn't give our citizens the opportunity to engage back with us. The upside to social media is when we post something, for instance, we posted today the National Weather Service alert that we could get high amounts of rain. So please plan accordingly, I think is what we posted. And a citizen said, I'm going to go out and get my Funyuns and my corn chips, and that way if we get rained in, I have my snacks. It's an opportunity. That one's a silly one, but we had somebody question us about when the construction on 16th was going to be completed. And again, it's easier for the citizens to reach out and communicate with us than having to pick up the phone or come all the way down here. So it's an opportunity, again, to learn what we can do better, to learn what's working, to share information in a more instantaneous fashion, and then get instant feedback as well. So I do manage the Facebook page and the Twitter for the city. Fortunately, I have other people too in case it's at 3 o'clock in the morning and 3 p.m. I have other people who can follow up with that as well. But we are doing a push for social media, so we would invite all of you guys to participate in that as well.
Quick question. Everybody have a cell phone? Yes. Okay, everyone that has a smartphone, give me a quick hand. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My phone's dumb. Okay, everybody has got a feature phone, which is your basic kind of phone, just makes calls, maybe text. Who has a feature phone? Nobody?
What do you mean?
A feature phone, just kind of a regular cell phone. Yeah. It probably was nice and inexpensive. Feature phone. Okay. It was free? That's the best one. Okay, so we've got, if we were to say, and this is a pretty good cross-section of our town right here. It really is. So my job is to take technology and use technology to get information to you. And I got hired year 2000, and one of the things I needed to fix first off was that they just got a contract with the cable company, and they had a TV system that was playing a bulletin board, kind of the old-fashioned, looks like a hotel, but it wasn't 2000 compliant. So it kind of restarted, and it said, I don't know, it said like 1901 or something. So the first thing to do was to fix that. Second poll question. How many people have a TV? Right on. So 100%, you don't have a TV?
Of course.
So 100% have a TV. Roughly 80% have a cell phone. Okay. How many of you have a computer? Everybody? Okay. Okay. How about cats? How many? Never mind. I don't like cats. Okay. So how do you get your news? Any news? Sports? Twitter? Huh?
I go to the game.
You go to the game? You
Internet paper.
okay? Because you own the paper.
I do.
Yeah. TV. Okay. So combination.
Radio.
So when Constance talks about emergency communication, what do you think you're going to go to first? I had the distinction of building one of the first kind of organized websites, and so part of my job goes between the web and video production. So this is our latest kind of incarnation of it. What's really neat about it is that it helped put each department in charge of their own space. So instead of funneling tons of data through myself and telling me priorities or something like that, it allowed them to set their own priorities. So as you navigate around, you can find it fairly easy. I recommend folks use the search box. It works really well. If you're having trouble on our first page, not everything is on the front page. You can't really do it. Design standards wise, you'll just either bore people, or they'll just look at it like Yahoo and have no idea and leave. We gotta in our industry and in government try to figure out, well, look at the cell phone usage. 91% of adults have some sort of cell phone. So should we focus on cell phones? Should we focus on the information to a cell phone when we're seeing things like tablets are going up, but they're mobile too. So what's going down? Desktop's gone down. Of course, the laptop, though, still up, is flatlining. You know, the MP3 player, forget it. Games even, look at games. You know, I'm a big gamer. I'd love to do stuff for the Xbox for the city, but seeing as how you can get, you can get all those fun things like YouTube on the Xbox now, and we of course have a YouTube channel. So as Constance was saying, we still have good relationships, and we have to, because a lot of our folks, including our big population of the winter visitors, this is how they're going to get their news. So as her end of it, I guess Constance, for lack of a better word, gets to do the hands-on with the people. I don't get to deal with people unless I'm going to videotape you. If you're here, if you're one of the facilities, you'll see me with the camera. You want to talk on camera, come see me. I'm always looking for people to talk to. I'm always looking for people to talk to. So,
especially on camera.
Yeah, because we got to hear from you. We need to know what's going on. You know, did you like some of the road construction now that it's done? How does that stuff look to you? You know?
I see a food bank commercial coming up. There you go.
Channel 11. We put on programming that has, of course, our city council meetings, soon to be planning and zoning. We've done some test runs with that, by the way, which is really good. I think there's a lot of stuff in planning and zoning, as Councilman Surdy would tell you, that people might want to hear, because that's where some decisions are made that, well, why would they approve that? Well, that was the recommendation. So, like I say, soon to be on CenturyLink. Very cool. I'm very excited about that. The meetings get streamed on, does anybody know? Granicus. Granicus is our streaming system. So what that means is www.ajcity.net/webvideos is an archive of all our council meetings and our locally produced by me videos. Now we also have a very cool thing. I'm going to switch back over to the browser for our new Legistar, which is right here. Legistar was a system. Let me back up. We partnered with Granicus about 7 years ago when we first moved into the new building over there to web stream the channel and the meetings. And since then, what we did is we went over and looked at another one of their products, which was an agenda management product. It was very good. And it basically took away a lot of the paper. Now we're still working out some bugs, but for the most part, when you go to, if you guys can see this, apacheJunction.legistar.com, all of our commissions and boards, for the most part, this is just this month, will publish their agendas here. So you can see it, decide if you want to attend. Anyway, so that's kind of what it looks like on the web when you see it. One of the neat things that it sold me was that when you watch these meetings,
Apache Junction City Council work session, roll call.
When you watch these meetings and you don't want to sit through the rest of it, you just want to go to the one that you're here for.
Mayor Slocum?
Here.
Vice Mayor Barker?
Oh.
Here. Councilmember Evans? Here. Councilmember
No, it's not going to jump.
Councilmember Surdy?
There it goes. It's indexed on the fly, so during the meeting I actually hit that and it'll jump to the part of the agenda that you only need to see or you want to see. So you don't have to sit through. Unless you want to. I mean, I've been watching these meetings now for 7 years straight. There are some interesting things. There's some pretty good discussions. So I don't want to dissuade you from watching the whole thing because it's really pretty neat. Okay, here's some of our digital stuff which I love. Again, here's the information for our web streaming, our Granicus stuff. The thing I was talking about with Granicus was our agenda management. And I can demo that here because the demo, that was all about the iPad. Where'd you go? There you are, right there. So instead of getting this big beat up packet just full of papers and papers, we gave them these. And we said, have fun. So we'll see. There it goes. So the whole agenda packet comes in here. And council gets this. And you can also see this. You'll see this if you go to the apacheJunction.legistar.com. Everything the council sees, you can see. Staff reports, the graphs, sometimes the PowerPoint, so I don't always see those. So what was this for? Oh yeah, here you go. Staff report. Really a pretty efficient system for council. It's also downloadable, so if they really just wanted to see it on a bigger screen, they can download it. You can download it, go through it, find out what you like, come down to the meeting. Wasn't super expensive, but I think over time as it becomes just part of the system, I think we're going to see us go completely paperless because we're almost there, almost there. So one of the things I'm working on, and I'm hoping to see this happen, is mobile. You saw the graph where, man, mobile's just huge. And there are products, there are technologies where we can build one website that does both mobile and desktop. So I guess the only thing that I can ask you is if it's something you want, come to a meeting and tell the council. Because the council will decide that. They'll decide the policy about, hey, it's going to cost a little bit of money. Once you get in there, the technology is really friendly to scale. It's really friendly to data. And as we move forward, and I see our other staff needing this outside of the office, you know, being out in the field, working with developers or vendors, they're going to need to be able to pull that up as well. And what are they going to have? You're going to have something like this.
Okay, once again, hi everybody, my name's Tracy, Apache Junction Public Library, the best public library, north, south, east, to west. I don't care where you're from. I'm from Michigan. But anyways, this is the best public library I've ever worked at. It's the best public library here in Apache Junction because it's the only public library here in Apache Junction. Plus, we also have the best bookstore, too, because it's the only bookstore in Apache Junction. But you probably knew all that, right? So first off, I want to say thank you. Many of you are my age. Some people are younger, I understand. But you have created children that are curious, and I appreciate that. Because, you know, library world goes in cycles just like everything else. Boring, and then exciting. Boring. Well, now we're kind of in an exciting time because you have curious children. And I really appreciate it because they're asking us questions and we don't know the answers and we have to look them up, and it's really a lot of fun. Thank you. Plus, we're also in that time with tablets and all these Android and iPhone and all this really cool stuff. Libraries, I was told in 1992, and one of the libraries I was working at, the library board told me, well, we're going to disappear in a couple of years because the internet's up. Well, here we are, 2013. And libraries are just really kind of trying to teach people about all the new toys they get, how to use them. New toys coming down the pike is just really a lot of fun. Next up the line is get her done, get that library card. If you live in Apache Junction 30 days or more, you can get a library card. All we need is your picture ID, some kind of proof you live here in Apache Junction, and you're good to go. And we will get you a library card because there's all sorts of really cool stuff that we have at the library that you need to know about. The first thing is playaways. That's what these things are. This goes around, oh, I've got lots of junk here. This is a playaway. It goes around your neck, and then these are the earphones that are all tangled up. Sorry about that. And I use it very frequently in this very building because I'm from the generation where going to the gym, the exercise isn't really something that I like to do, but I make myself do because the city has this wonderful opportunity for it. So I do. And I listen to one of these. I put these in my ears. And when I'm on the machines, I just close my eyes and pretend I'm not here because I just don't like to sweat. I don't like none of that stuff. But listening to one of these things, I've gone on tours to London and France. It's so cool. I've listened to all sorts of different books. I finally finished Atlas Shrugged. I mean, that thing is, it took forever. But anyways, this is how I get through. I'm getting healthy and I'm listening to these things, and it's really cool. If you listen to a CD, you have to carry out the CD player. Somebody said they actually put the CD in their backpack, their little fanny pack, and it doesn't skip. Well, you know, when you're doing laundry or cleaning or, you know, you're bending, crazy. But these things are great. I like to listen to one at home and I putter. I don't know what I do. I don't know exactly what I get done. Somebody did it. It's great. It's like having a maid. It's really cool. And then sometimes I just keep doing stuff because the story's not done yet, or I'm not a good time to stop. You know, I just got to keep going. Anyways, I really like the playaways. They're really cool. And because she kept saying, but you know, you do have books, and we also have views. Now these are really cool because they have one little video in them, and there's the chargers and everything too, and it's just this cute little thing here. And I'm going to save you, about $300. Because there's one on communication. And what they said in communication, the most important thing is when you're asking someone to do something, don't say don't. Isn't that worth about $30 from each person? Come on, come on. Really, don't say don't. Because when you tell your spouse, significant other, relative, whomever, don't forget we have, guess what? That person forgot. So don't say don't. That's worth $30, don't you think? Another one I listened to talked about productivity on the job. Now this one's worth $300. And he said, I can double your productivity, let me tell you. Come on, get out your checkbooks. When you're at work, work. There you go, that four-letter word. When you're at work, work. Oh my gosh, I know, write it down. Come on, get out that checkbook. Come on. It's just kind of crazy, but you know, it really does make sense. When you get to work and all you do is work and you don't do all this, you end up with all this free time. It's just amazing. You know, but then sometimes you're walking around going, is that person really working? Is that person? No, you just have to stick the information to yourself, or just happen to drop that view on their desk so they can take it home and watch it. How they can double their productivity too. And we have Kindles, which I didn't bring in my bag. But you all know Kindles, e-readers. We check those out too. They check out for 3 weeks, and you can download materials from Greater Phoenix Digital Library, all sorts of things. And I'm going to pass out those flyers in just a second. And we have Kilowatt. Can you believe that SRP, that's our utility company, is trying to save us money? Can you believe it? All you do is take one of these cute little darlings and you plug it into the electrical outlet, and then put your lamp into a computer, whatever it is, and that you can figure out how much money you're spending on that utility. no, not utility, on that item, which ends up being on a utility bill. It's really cool. I mean, to me, this is a saving time of year. When you get too hot, you open the door. When it's cold, you close the door. You know, you don't need air conditioning heaters. I don't think so much. So right now, my bill is $33.78. So it's really good because it's down from last year, and I don't know why. But it's all right. I'm not going to complain. But it was up $1, so I was worried. What was I doing different? But I'm okay now. I'm down $1. It's all right. Well, Greater Phoenix Digital Library is available from the library webpage. I'm sorry, I don't seem to have more of those. But I do have ebooks. We have ebooks through the county now, Pinal County. So if you want to take one of these and pass it around, Greater Phoenix Digital Library is Valley libraries have gotten together and purchased books, and you can download them onto your whatever, your phone, your Kindle, whatever. And they're free, so you just got to get that library card to do it. This is through the county, this next one, and these are ebooks also. So we have two sources, aren't we lucky? We're in the middle. We've got the Valley and we've got the ebooks from the county. And the ones from the county don't have as long of a hold list, just to let you know. It's really a lot quicker to get those materials. So that's really kind of cool. Oh, I need to talk to you about Media Bank too. Media Bank is this wonderful red thing that's outside the handicap entrance to the library. You're nodding your head, yes, that's good. You scan your library card, put in 4 digits, last 4 digits of your phone number. You can check out 3 DVDs at a time. And it's really kind of cool because you can be at home and decide, well, I wonder if they got the latest, greatest. You look online, you put it on hold, the latest, greatest DVD. There's that new Superman out, Man of Steel. And you can put it on hold, and then you've got 5 hours to go check it out. You can't do that in the library. You can't put DVDs on hold because they're just too popular. But you can with the Media Bank that's outside the handicap entrance. So it's really kind of cool. And I just think it's so much fun because I drive by a lot and I see people out there all sorts of time of the day checking out. Oh, exactly, 2 o'clock in the morning. Yes, it is. If your library card's in good standing, yep, help yourself. Check things out. The newest, latest, greatest is Culture Passes. We're so excited. This is really cool because you can check out a Culture Pass, and it's for 2 people to attend one of these wonderful things on the back. Maybe I'll start some over here too. So they're really kind of cool. You get the receipt. And that's all you get. You don't have to take anything else, just the receipt, the proof that you checked it out. And on the back is a list of the locations. Our library director has been working on this for a long time. Like in my introduction, it said that I work for someone who lets me pretend I'm in charge, and it's so much fun because he does all this type of thing, trying to get these things negotiated, and I don't have to. I just think it's really great. So the Culture Pass, it's really nifty. You can do 1 a week per family and 2 per month. And the list is neat. I mean, there's the zoo, there's the Children's Museum, there's all sorts of good stuff on there. So the next thing I probably should talk about is Friends of the Library. They have a bookstore in the library, and it's through the old entrance, and everything is priced, and all the money that they earn from that goes to the library. And of course, they're always looking for volunteers, just like the library is. And they have all sorts of sales going on at different times. The books are, and they earn the money that goes to library, and they earn about $20,000 a year, believe it or not. So if you have magazines, puzzles, things like that you want to get rid of, they would be happy to have them. If you have a garage sale and you don't sell everything that you thought you were going to sell, they would be happy to have them. And this is a little card that tells you what they like to have. I think it just has support. Oh, and it has their email at the very, very bottom. And they would love to put you on their email list when they're having their sales of what's going on and who's doing what and all that type of thing. They meet once a month, and I get to go and beg for support. But all their money comes back to the library for programs. It's just really a nice partnership, because they do special things for the staff so that, you know, we soar, service over and above the rest. I'm sure you've heard all that from other city people. We soar. We try really hard to do the best we can. We try to answer questions. We try and do everything. If I don't know the answer, I have to find a computer technician, usually is what it is. I mean, I am a librarian, but you know, tablets and all these other things. I don't know all of them. I know my iPhone pretty well. So we try really hard to answer all the questions we can. If we can't, we find someone who does have the answer, or we look it up, or something like that. So that's how we try and soar. Plus, we also try and do the FISH philosophy. Be there, make my day. Choose your attitude, and there's one more. Oh, have fun at work. That's what it is. And so the Friends of the Library helps us that way, too. They allow us to do things like have fun at work, like today's birthdays. We got to have pie and ice cream and Cool Whip. I mean, it was really pretty cool. It was kind of nice. So we had our staff meeting, and then we got to do, you know, sing happy birthday to the people and have, it's just kind of fun to do. Oh, they also have a program with tiles. And the front entrance, the new entrance, there's tiles on the columns there, and you can also purchase a tile to go on there. And they're $50. I have 2 up there. I haven't seen any gum stuck to it or squirt guns or anything, so this is really pretty good. I must be doing all right now, so that's good. And that's the Here's Your Tile. So really make my day shopping in Apache Junction. Like Matt said, it's really worthwhile because we have funny math. For every $5 you spend in Apache Junction, 1 penny comes to city services. Helps to pay for the library and all the other city services, and it really is beneficial. So go out to eat, have parties, go shopping, buy a new wardrobe. Anything you want here in Apache Junction to help pay your city services. Is that good?